Should we start? I mean, just or so you also want to share your screen as well, correct, Denise?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my presentation gonna be short for today.
Those mine.
But so let me know when should I start. We have 9 people actually.
I think that's almost everybody who RSVP'd yes. I mean, there's like 1 or 2, but should we give them 2 more minutes till 11:05?
Sure.
How is everybody?
No, long time no.
All right, so for today, I'm just want to share with you guys how I designed the page, designed the data science. All right, so I got the idea from, so idea that I'm implementing this course, the idea comes from Udacity, Coursera, DataAids, and Linda from LinkedIn. So all of them, they provide data science course and they give a certificate. So from this, from here, why it doesn't,
this is not going away.
technical, oh, it's why. So my idea comes from this 4 Institute. I actually took a course from them. I also was involved with Udacity for 4 years, working with them, teaching data science there for a couple of years, but I was working there as part-time for 4 years. So idea of data science comes from this 4 Institute. And so that's how I'm implementing data science in a Skyline, for a Skyline. The great thing is all of them, they have the same foundation. So all of them, they use Python. All the data science course, they start by collecting and cleaning data with Python or R, but most of the time, most of them, they use Python.
What?
After collecting and cleaning data, we talk about visualization and identify pattern in data. And at the end, we make a conclusion by using a statistic. So after this 3 steps is done, we introduce students to the next level of the course, which will be machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
After data science, they have some idea about a statistic and Python. Then we can teach them for the next course, or next course after data science will be machine learning and artificial intelligence. All right.
What?
Did I go too super fast? So the idea is coming from those institutes. I use Python. Good, this is all. So now our students for Math 211, which for data science at UDAS at Skyline, we are assuming that they have a 0 Python skill. So the way I'm going to teach it, I'm assuming that the student, they don't have a programming language background, and most likely they didn't take a statistic, or they are taking a statistic Math 200 at the same time.
And it's 50.
Correct. So because 211, I don't think will be prerequisite.
Actually, sorry, right now 200 and like the first level transfer classes are prerequisites to the 211.
I see. So they have an idea about a statistic then.
So they either, but you could take something like Trig and be qualified to take 211. So they either maybe have some programming or some statistics, but there's no guarantee they have both or either really. So they should have a little bit of something.
But the way I'm planning to teach, every week we talk about a statistic. At the same time, we teach them how to use Python to do the statistic part. So they're not going to solve the problem. They ask Python to solve the questions or any descriptive statistic using Python. We use Python. So far I implemented like 4 weeks of work in Canvas. Every week there's a homework and there's exercise on lab. And there's a mini project before they do the projects. So for data science course, I'm planning to make 2 projects, one midterm, one final projects. For each project, we have mini projects that people get involved, how to do the coding, and then they do project by themselves. But every week, it will be a statistic, homework, and Python homework. And they do all of them online, and they do it through Colab. All right? And any question for me?
I need
Any
Okay,
questions?
so the easy question I have for you is, I'm going to hit you up later for how you use Sketchbook to do those presentations. Awesome. And
I can't hear.
2 is, do you run into issues using the compiler for Colab, or has that been pretty seamless?
Most people like
I
they
cannot
use
hear.
Jupyter at the end for example, for the project, they need to download it in their machine. But for the homework and lab exercises, it would be good that they do it on Colab. The Colab will be good enough to compile this the functions of code.
And I know, like for data 8, everything is Jupyter. And somebody was saying that you can use Colab to compile the Jupyter notebooks.
Yeah, they're exactly same. They're exactly identical, but Jupyter will be in your machine. Colab will be on the cloud. But at the beginning, I don't want it to confuse a student to download the Jupyter, install it on their machine. It would be so much work. It would be, if you use Colab, then everything is online, just run it to see the output. But eventually, by the end of the course, they should be able to have it in their machine and then in their laptop to run it. It's much faster.
Do you, and I don't know if this is part of your presentation later, but if you have examples just to show how that, sort of soup to nuts, what the process or progress would be through
Sure.
a lesson where students do that, that'd be cool.
On Canvas, we have 4 or 5 weeks of work. Each week I have a video and I tell them what to do. I teach them the topic and then I ask them to do the work. So I try to have a baby steps. I'm assuming that they don't know Python and they are just motivated to learn about data science. So I'm dealing with the students that they're shaky, they're not very strong in statistics. But some of them, they might be better programmer than I am, but mostly my audience will be a student that they like to move on. So that's how I'm.
So I have a question. My question, from last time I asked Dennis about the class. So we have our goal is it just to get certificate and we have information, or can it be transfer level to UC Berkeley or 4 years majoring in data science?
So this is the only transfer level class that we have that I think we can offer from what I'm looking at across the state, and then what other community colleges are doing. So most community colleges that are offering certificates or AA degrees aren't, none of the classes are transferable. It's all certificate, right? Because most of the intro data science classes require semesters of calculus. So this was the only one that I could find that I know for a fact that is transferable. So, and right now the transfer requirements for the four-year universities vary widely. Some require lots of calculus, some don't require calculus, some require linear algebra, though that's probably upper division linear algebra. So, so I'm currently looking at exploring certificate and AA degree, and there is a consortium in for Fresno City College that's trying to sort of standardize what a data science certificate is.
Mr. Tree
Most of those classes are under the purview of computer science, though.
that.
And like they're doing theirs, they actually have a decision science department. So, I mean, even if you look at how data science at the community college level is being implemented, it's not only in math, it's not only in computer science. Some are doing it through business, or they have some like decision science department. Basically, there's no standardization. Like, you know, math or CS, those are like pretty clear-cut degrees or certificates. There's not really anything for data science specifically right now, but if you have any ideas, let me know.
Yeah, because I work with some group in College of Marine. We tried to implement this class last spring, but because of this coronavirus, nobody, you know, they give up.
Here?
And we have connection with the Genentech company. Have you heard Genentech? They are the biggest, Swiss. I think we used to be American. They bought Switzerland now. And the guy, I know him, he said, if you can do for me this, I will hire them, all of them, all your students. He said, I need statistic 1, statistics 2, probability, and Bayesian model, you know, and the Python, and a little bit with cleaning data, and that's all I need. We hire them with, I was shocked. He said, we can start them with $80,000 right there. I promise, he said. Yeah, and no, leave it, because I may invite him one time to talk in our meeting here. He may talk more than what they need, what they do. So and we went to his company. He invited us, and we went there to South San Francisco. We get in there, and it's amazing. I mean, you know, he said, we don't need like PhD or anybody, just as long as they know the job. It's guarantee we work. We hire them.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Let's connect.
And I forgot linear algebra. Yeah, he said linear algebra. Yeah, like matrices and the stuff he was talking about a little bit. Yeah. Yeah,
because the Fresno City College degree had, or the certificate had finite math, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why you would need finite math. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, I would think linear algebra is more useful. But I did invite all of you guys to the Canvas course, the college data science, so you can check out what
now, and then I'm all done.
Okay. And can anybody elaborate what difference between data science course and data analytic course?
Well, I just caught, like, when I did the course outline for this one, I modeled it after UC Berkeley's Data 8 because I'm going for transferability. So it's basically their curriculum in our course outline of record.
Thanks.
All right, guys, I'm sorry about the different background noise here. So, any question? So that's what I'm I'm working on to go like this. I know there are so many places people can get certificate about data science, data analysis. There's so many everywhere. But the way I'm planning to do, I am dealing with the students that they would like to go study data science. So I'm not dealing with super duper smart students here. I'm dealing with people who got B in statistics, B in algebra, but they like to move on with data science. Data science is a big name, but the back end is not that complicated. If you know little Python, can graph it and then visualize it.
I think actually, Kim, are you done? Because I think that's a good segue into the grant.
Okay.
Do you have more?
No.
Oh, do you have more? Because I think that's a good segue into the grant.
Yeah, that's, so this was what I planned for today. Also for week 1 on Canvas, I talked about data types, and there are some homework, so I don't go over it today. But you can see that week 1, week 2 is very basic. The homework is basic, and but next time we meet, we go to the real data part.
Real data.
So for homework, we should do week 1 and week 2, or week 1.
We should be able to week 1, and week 1 or week 2.
Okay. So we'll have a meeting in another couple. So I think we're going to meet every 2 weeks to go through the Kayvon's data science curriculum. We're piloting it and we're learning it. So hopefully one day we'll have so many sections, we'll all be teaching it. But yeah, so that, like for the last couple of years, I think I've been talking to you guys, like we should bring data science to Skyline. And so this was the first step in that. And I've been applied for 2 grants. Last year has got completely panned. But we did get funded for a much smaller one recently. And so my idea behind this data science pathway was because of AB 705, we're placing all our students by default into intro stats, which I think is good because it's way more interesting than intermediate algebra will ever be. But that essentially eliminates any possibility of STEM for them. And so I found this curriculum, it's called Passion Driven Statistics, and you can just Google that. And so it's by Lisa Derricker out of Wesleyan University, and she's in the psych department there, but what she did is she developed a project-based curriculum that's free. And so my grant was to implement and train faculty in this project-based curriculum for Math 200, and through that work, inspire some of our Math 200 students to want to do more data stuff. And so we would funnel them into our Math 211 course, Intro Data Science, and then from there they'll be so intrinsically motivated to take like pre-calculus or some other kind of math, and then eventually transfer. And one thing that I had worked on, like Kenyatta and I had worked on last year with our previous grant application, was to build a pathway to CSU East Bay, because calculus is actually, it's an elective. So instead of Calculus 1, you could take 2 Python courses because they do all the upper division probability through simulation. So that's one option. And so I need to reconnect with them. I haven't had the chance to do that, but I will in the next few weeks to see if that's still an option. So I think that could be a good possibility for our non-STEMmy or decidedly non-STEM students who like are so inspired by all this data stuff that we could get them there. We do need to get them through pre-calculus, but we have like Math 225 that could like get them through that in 1 semester. I've talked to Brian about doing some kind of math jam support stuff. Maybe we could apply for another grant to do that. Because this grant, it's $300,000 over 3 years, and for salaries, the district takes 30% off the top, and then you have to pay benefits, so that's like not a whole lot of money. It's basically buying me out a little bit, professional development. Okay, so this is the professional development. For 2 cohorts of faculty, 5 faculty, one for the spring semester, one for the fall semester, for about 10 hours. It's probably gonna be more than 10 hours, but that's all we had in the budget. Retention specialist, and then all the administrative stuff. That's pretty much the whole budget right there, because it's, yeah. Questions, anybody interested?
So are we going to make it to Math 200 is the requirement for 211?
No, you just, so I think that, I figured when we were creating, it's easier to start with prerequisites and then remove them as opposed to trying to add them later on. So Math 200 is a prereq to 211, but you probably challenge it, or the first level transfer. Because we were trying to get it, I can't remember, I'd have to look it up specifically because we had to change a few things at the final stages of curriculum just because we wanted it to be transferable in category blah 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 for the UCs or something like that. I'm trying to get it accepted at the UCs for the quantitative reasoning requirement, because since it's modeled after data 8 and data 8 satisfies the quantitative reasoning thing, that ideally this would too.
Okay. Good.
Sounds like it could be a really good idea to make learning community. Like just, I know 200 will be prerequisite, but like 200 with 211 together could be pretty cool too. Just having math experience with just doing 211 together too. Or
yeah,
like,
I mean, I think right now from like the informal polls that I've done, like even our CS majors have never heard of data science. So very few people have heard of data science. So I think it's hard enough to like inform them. Well, I mean, you know, they come into stats and they're like, what the hell is this? And you're making me do math and it has words, and then you either, yeah, I don't know, whatever. So I'm hoping to maybe inspire them there right now. I mean, that's really what my grant's like trying to say. Like, if we can inspire them through this project-based curriculum that's been demonstrated to be, they looked at minority students, and basically they had a much higher rate of desiring to do more data analysis than other groups at the end of this curriculum. And it's been used in middle schools through four-year institutions and graduate seminars in various forms. Kenyatta, you had a question? You have to unmute. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I almost forgot, but I think, are we still planning to go live in January? Is that still the plan?
Yeah, so that's my kid. Wait, for this grant or for the 211?
The 211.
Yeah, it's on the books.
Okay. Okay.
So the other thing too, this was some like, so part of the grant thing, they had all these follow-up questions, and then I had to come up with this COVID contingency plan. Because initially, if it were to get funded, it'd have to start now. And I was like, how are we going to be online, start some new curriculum and some new technology with like nothing? I mean, that's like torturous for faculty. It's even worse for the students. So part of the contingency plan was to push out the implementation into spring 2021, which buys us a little time. And I was on a meeting with Rick and David that day. And so initially we were going to use Minitab with this curriculum. She has like, actually she has manuals for like R, SAS, SPSS, Python, but not Minitab. But we just got the license for Minitab. So since we can't even use Minitab now anyway, because we're remote, we decided because Kayvon is doing this with Google Colab that we would do that too for that class. And basically using, so you could think of the software sort of like the graphing calculator. I mean, we provide a lot of the notebooks for them, just like, you know, your calculator will do normal CDF, right? So there is some syntax that you have to learn, but that shouldn't be like too hard to overcome. That's what I'm thinking. So that's why I was trying to recruit from this cohort that's going to be doing Kayvon's class, so that we would all be doing the same thing, and assuming that it'd be more or less the same code.
So it's going to be one section of 211 or two?
So right now there's probably going to be one section of 211. So like, please recruit from your 200, or actually all your classes, but really focus on 200. We'll see how it goes. And then, I mean, Kayvon's going to teach this first one, and then presumably eventually we would expand to more sections. Hi, Philip.
Can I take? Kayvon, would you put me in?
Waiting list. You're in waiting list.
I will give you some kimchi.
So, I mean, we could set up meetings. I think this is the time that Kayvon's available, and from like what I was looking at everybody's schedules, like this is mostly where people are free, this 1 hour a week. It was actually really hard. Not everybody has this particular hour free. So every 2 weeks we'd get together, and
So
like Kayvon would give us homework, and then we would do it and discuss it. Yeah.
So you guys can help me to create the mini projects and the projects, so we can come up with some problem with the COVID. So we have a data set, and we can come up with what type of question we can ask a student that they can use Python to get output.
Python. Yes, Python.
Not a good time on 11.
Got money to get COVID testing, Denise?
For
What?
example, we have-
Can we use some of the grant money to get COVID tests?
Well, did they just come out with this $5 one? Has to be better than what the city of Oakland's offering. It took me 19 days to get my results last time. Like,
I got mine back.
completely useless. Yeah, did they just approve some $5 like 15-minute one?
So the 211 curriculum, in at least as it stands going into the spring semester is Kayvon's course with a few embellishments from projects. That's pretty much the plan?
Correct.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it would be
And I-
great that if you guys involve on the on the midterm project and final projects, and you will see how do we need to finish the project and what part we need to ask a student that they can code and they can use a statistic to answer the questions. So if you guys be involved, I mean, you know exactly what's happened entire the semester. Okay.
So I have a question. Dennis, are you recommending that we encourage the students so that in 200, like if I'm teaching 200 right now, encouraging them for 211 for spring?
Yeah. Yes, please do that.
But not just 200 students, right? So in fact, pretty much anybody who
Oh, this one's
is
so
some algebra classes is in pretty good shape. So calculus students would be a pretty nice group to push that way.
It might, yeah, I think it might be nice to have a very heterogeneous like class population to work together and help each other out there. This is slightly off topic, but since a lot of you teach 200, I just wanted to show you that I know nobody really goes to the statistics Canvas page, but I've been kind of updating it slightly with stuff I've gotten from the AP Stats group. So if you are in the Skyline Statistics faculty Canvas and you click on pages, I've been updating this. So there's some resources like that's Alan Rossman's blog that's been up there. Study Finds has some articles with like links to studies. But there's Skew the Script. This is an AP Stats curriculum that has a lot of current events going on, and somebody also implemented Desmos activities for each of the lessons as well. And it's all free. And then Open Middle, I'm not so into that, but I just put that there because I heard about it at JSM. And then Staplets, basically what you can do is you could have your students do, I haven't set any of this up, but basically they could enter data and populate a dot plot or a scatter plot with collaborative, and it's free too. This is also integrated into Statsmetric. Did I put the Statsmetric? So these are some AP Stats instructors that also have a ton of lessons for free, and they have like activities for every single day of AP Stats. And I think AP Stats covers like way more than what we do, so there's a ton of stuff there. And then through what I was working on to reply to the grant stuff, there's some data sets that people use. And then this human benchmark hearing test, it just plays like a sound at different frequencies. It's something you can collect data on. And the AP people were into that. So I just added that here. And that's all I have.
Where can I find those?
Oh, so are you on the Canvas thing? Let me see, are you? Okay, let me add you.
I don't think I am either, Dennis.
Okay, so I'll just add people that are,
Me
Okay.
too. I don't think I'm
Who?
on there.
Weathersby, you're on there. You logged on March 11th. Okay, hold on, let me add people.
Like, where is it at though? In Canvas?
In
Like,
in Canvas. It's like Skyline Statistics faculty.
oh, okay, I know what you. Probably hit it.
Could you put me in as well?
Yeah, hang on. Wait, can you guys say your name so that I can like make sure I'm copying and pasting the right emails? That's Diana, right?
That is disabled. So CHOIY at SMCC.
Hang on. Anybody else?
It looks like it's kind of thin in there. There's not too many people.
Yeah, so okay, I just added Yana Abdulantara. right?
Yeah, you know Emma, right?
Can I
Yeah,
join?
Who is you? What's your name? Sorry.
May Brian join?
Oh, thanks. Okay. Sorry, I don't have you on my screen.
But Judy's not on there.
Yeah, I just added him.
Okay. Kayvon.
Ava's not on there? Okay. Anybody else?
Not that's in the chat.
Okay. Oh, I added you guys all as students. Do you want to be changed? Yeah, I'll edit your roles. Hang on. So if you're interested in the professional development and the implementing the Math 200 curriculum, can you please send me an email? Because, yeah. So you would implement the curriculum this semester that we're doing the professional development. So the whole idea, so what I'm trying to do is set up a course like Kayvon has for the Math 211 so that you could copy it to make your life a little bit easier in implementing and create those CoLab notebooks. And then we'd meet like every 2 weeks to do, I'm thinking like lesson study light from when talking to the passion-driven statistics folks. They usually do like a weekend-long professional development intensive at the beginning to help you predict where people are going to have issues and then answer questions around that. I was supposed to go to that in May, but clearly that didn't happen. Anything else?
Off topic. How do you cover the whole 10 section Math 200?
I don't do ANOVA. Anybody do ANOVA?
I do just 8.1, one section sometime.
When I'm online, I do more than I regularly do. So I have it when I do online, but I might do a little bit on a regular face-to-face class.
Okay.
John, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I was trying to get onto the right screen. Sorry. Although I did just open up the personalized Firefox add-on window. So the statistics. Sorry, I'm looking at this now. The statistics Canvas page that you have is different than the Skyline Statistics faculty page.
Me?
Yes.
What did I, isn't that the
One you just
Skyline,
added everybody to?
isn't that the Skyline, I just closed my window. Isn't that the Skyline Statistics faculty?
I thought it was, but I got on there and couldn't find any of that stuff, so.
Click on pages.
Got it. Oh yeah, there it is. Never mind.
Good.
It's such an obvious spot.
Well, no, I know. I think the stuff on the front page, that's all like your stuff, right? The pocket money and the
Yeah, it's just stuff that I posted there a long time ago.
Yeah, and I posted that stuff on because okay, this is the first time I've ever used modules.
Got
I
it.
was like, why do I want to keep clicking all this add stuff if I just want to add links? So then I
Yeah, you know what? I actually like a landing page better than modules because those they're good for sequential stuff, but they're kind of confusing because unless you're doing it sequentially, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
You can do that. That's what I did. Because I can't,
Right.
the modules drive me nuts.
No, that's what I'm saying. So if you just create a landing page and then that's your catalog, that becomes your guide. So then people can say, oh, this link takes me to all these resources, or this link takes me to the modules. I got nothing. Thank you for sharing all that.
Sure.
And and since we're in here as colleagues, we can add to it also, yeah?
Yeah. I think
Awesome.
you guys are all teachers.
There's because I think there are a bunch of links from that workshop that Amstrad and Amatic did back in June. So we can post that too.
Oh, we should just post the video to the thing, huh? I need to rewatch that. I was so not paying attention. Okay. Are we good?
Oh, last thing is, and I'm sure I missed this. So Kayvon's class, are we already, are we in it?
If you want to be, so he's given us homework to do week 1 and we'll meet in
Well,
2
so
weeks.
how am I getting in there?
I added you to the Canvas course.
So I just have to find the, I just have to get in
Yeah,
there.
but what you have to do with the Colab notebooks is you have to, just like any Google Doc, you have to like make your own copy and then do it there.
I follow you.
Okay. Yeah, we're kind of low budget here. So we don't have UC Berkeley's like Jupyter, Kubernetes, blah, blah, like team to run their own server. So, I mean, we don't have auto, like, Kayvon, these aren't auto graded, right?
No, the not bad thing, the one that takes a lot of time, we actually need to go through the projects and read line by line to make sure it runs and the output and the analysis is okay. But for the project, for sure, somebody needs to read it. But for the homework, I create the 4 weeks of homework that, I mean, if the system will tell you if correct or not. So the Canvas will tell you. I made the multiple choices. But again, students who wants to study, they will learn it. But people who wants to just multiple choice ABC, they're not going to learn anything. But there are homework for each week that the Canvas will tell you true and false. Is it yes or no? But for the lab, again, we need to correct it. Every week there is a lab. So that things, it takes a lot of time. And every semester we need to change the project. We need to change the homework because it will be copy and paste. So the one bad thing about data science is people copy the code. It's okay to copy some part of the code, but it's not okay that we provide the same type of project every semester. So each instructor needs to have their own project every semester. So that takes a lot of time to come up with the unique. That project is not on the Google, and the question is, so that's a tough one. And we don't want to make, because if the project is in Google, they can just copy paste and we don't know anything else. That's what's happening these days, actually. So people copying code is okay, but not entire project.
Okay.
But it should be like a 6 units class, not 4 units, because it takes a lot of time for the teacher.
Oh, it is actually, it's 3 lecture, 1 lab. So I think it's 6 hours a week.
No, the units is I think 4 units core class. Or
yeah. So, but you get paid for the lab units.
No,
I mean, it's at a slightly lower rate.
it takes a lot of time to create the projects. We need to run it. We need to make sure it's okay. We need to make sure everybody else. So that, I mean, for me, it takes a long time to create the first project, but it's still, I am just not sure it's okay or not.
Daddy always gets bosses.
Well, thank you. If you guys don't have anything else, I'll send and I'll do calendar invites for the every 2 week thing.
Yeah, no.
If you're interested in the PD, let me know, because I think that factors into Carla's scheduling for the spring. So if you basically, you're gonna have to want to teach Math 200 with the project-based curriculum, and so that Carla can schedule you for 200, and that we'd all have some common time, probably Friday around this time, to be free to meet. That's the idea.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Happy Friday, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice format, Kayvon. I like your tabs.
All right, guys.
That's good. That's good sequencing.
Thank you, John.
Sequencing.
No more sun, my dear. Next time, I don't bring him here.